Alright. Let's have another crack at this. Well, first let's buy a bajillion heals. And then let's have a crack at this. Let's see. Where's... Okay, out of shot. We did it. We did it! Alright, well, we got a little bit here. We got some time to think about our lives. To really reflect on how far down this rabbit hole we gotta go. I'm curious if the fiends will respawn. I imagine not. I mean, I guess Kraken was the only one that really gave me any trouble, to be honest, so I'm not that concerned one way or the other. But we will see. Again, the biggest threat by a long shot is the random encounters, so... And just the size and length of the dungeon. Like, the combination of those two is just, a lot. It's a lot to deal with, that's what I'll say. Just slowly reaccumulating a gigantic pile of heals. Slowly. Also, I looked, I peeked, and apparently Masamune is somewhere, I think in the air floor? So we're definitely going exploring, because we want to get that. This is probably the most complete I will have of any of the games. I guess technically I left some treasure on the table in like a couple of the dungeons, the volcano and the ice cave. But I don't feel like I'm like missing out on crucial parts of the experience not having those, honestly. It's not anything that I didn't already have, basically. Let's see where we're at, purchase-wise. Only 47. I mean, I was on like literal empty, so it's not surprising, but still got a ways to go. But yeah, I think this will be probably the most complete game I'll end up playing. Maybe some of the other early ones are also pretty easy to like fully complete, just because they didn't have optional content back then. But I mean, I'm thinking about like the weapons and things like that in 7 and 8 and 9. I guess 9 was Ozma instead of a weapon, you know, all the optional junk basically. I'll see how I feel about it, but I feel like with as many games as I'm trying to tackle, that's going to be a chore unto itself, so it seems unlikely that I'm going to also... not a chore, like a task. It's a lot, is what I'm trying to say. And so I don't know how gung-ho I'll feel about going for a bunch of extra stuff. I guess it'll depend on how fun like the game and battle system is, and like how interesting I feel like it will be to grind for whatever extra shenanigans I need. I actually don't know what's like supposedly necessary to beat like the weapons in 7, for example. I mean, obviously when I played it last, I was like a little kid, so they seemed really hard, but I'm sure some of that was also just me playing with like kid brain. 75 seems good. I don't want to go all the way to 99 because I'm lazy. Alright, let's go back in time. Exit is a hell of a spell though. It can take us through space and time. Just impressive. Now we just step on here, like, hell. We did it. This is an inauspicious beginning. 4 frost dragons? Ugh. Oh, no one-shot. Okay. The assisted one-shot. I was sweating. Lowballed that first attack, and I was like, oh gosh. Get me out of here. Help! Oh, they didn't frost yet, so that's gotta be something. Whoa, popping off. Holy smokes! Big Zeus. Big Daddy Zeus. Out and about. Alright. Maybe it's an auspicious start. What do I know? Let's see how much of this junk I remember. Casually rerunning a maze. Oh, well, we're back. They get round 2? We get round 2? Difficult to say. Am I defending the throne here, or are they, coming back for more? Who's where in this whole configuration? Whoa! Whoa! Extreme pop-off mode. Maybe this is those extra levels in action. We're really doing it. I feel like, how do you even do low-level challenge in this game? Like, can you? There's just so many encounters, and it feels like there's no good way to avoid them. Even running feels very, like, difficult. I feel like you just have to, like, hold all these encounters. Oops. Yeah, maybe it's just not a thing. It also seems like a very reasonable read on it. It's just like, well, how do you do low level? You don't! We are leveling up though. And before this is the clutch amount of health that I need to survive a fatal attack and get off some kind of cool spell. Probably not, but, you know, whatever. Ooh. So far, so good. Okay. We appear to be gaming. They're just flailing at us. Rather than using these ridiculous spells that they have at their disposal. Well. I'm really curious what these are supposed to be, especially now that this one's called Fighter. I wonder if this is supposed to be like zombified Heroes of Light or something like that. It's not clear like what kind of fighter they're meant to portray here. Well, the Phantom's still here, so maybe the Fiends will still be at large. Nice try, guy. Should've gone for the head. Might get a second turn against this comp. Frick, which direction is it? Oh no, it's the other way, I think. I'm just not getting encounters this whole time. That's fine. Oops, that was wrong. Oops. This one. Zeusum. Dang. Ruben didn't save me from paralyze? Mods? I guess I only took 3 damage, so honestly, pretty okay. All things considered. We did it! 1700 XP is like pretty real thing. It's not messing. Did I go to the wrong side? Maybe the real strat is maybe just to like run it down. You know, any extra fights that you're taking, yeah, you can just take a casual 80 damage at any given time. So just don't. Did I rest? I think I did before I saved, or before I like ended my last stream. But I should probably check that I have spell slots. resistant, so we got a magic them up. But fortunately, we have free magic, so good news. Maybe Inspire specifically that's needed. I don't think they do real damage anyway, so I don't think it's the end of the world if I let them take a turn. So, maybe I should have just run. I don't think the XP is gonna be good. Yeah, this is like, ow, never mind. Seem like it's pretty overwhelmed ever. But now I got some cost fallacy going, so definitely doing it. Oh yeah, that's the good stuff. Spell slots are not the most precious resource right now. Definitely nice to have, but I guess the cure slot is the real kick in the pants. Good enough. Not quite on the elemental floors yet, but soon. It begins. You can only dodge blizzards and frost dragon encounters for so long, and time is up. You're just extremely, I guess the melee is just behind the curve on initiative this time around. Yeah, so in this game, they kind of like obscure the fact that you're attacking multiple times, or like they sort of like gloss over it. So my current theory is that if anything you attack with crits, it just reports the whole sequence as a crit, quote unquote. So it looks like you're critting, but it's really because you're attacking like 9 times. I mean, not exactly 9, but like, you know, a lot. Many times. So it can be a little bit misleading for sure. The big bodies out here. Get them. I like these things buffing themselves as though they're gonna live for another turn. It's extremely optimistic to be like, I'm gonna take a turn off at the beginning of this battle to cast some buffs on myself. And next turn, you're gonna be sorry. I'm like, next turn, huh? Yeah, exactly. It's just like somewhere, you got a crit somewhere, we give you credit for that. And that's pretty much all there is for it. Big Earth. Also, we got free magic now, which is a great feeling. So the Black Mage can be more consistently useful. I have an item that I can use, and it just gives me Lightning 2 on demand, which is pretty dope. good for those fights where it's like, well, I don't really want to burn a spell slot, but I also don't want to have to deal with like 5 enemies. Pretty sure that Southern Fork was a bait. Oops. I did not scroll down to that enemy. There we go. Yeah, I kind of actually like this. Playing this game really makes me want to play the original Dragon Quest as well. Honestly, my roommate is a huge Dragon Quest nut, and he likes the sort of like auxiliary games a lot. I don't think he's like a huge fan of the mainline games because they're really grindy. But yeah, he was like I was mentioning to him that I was playing this game, and he was talking up Dragon Quest 1, and I was like, that actually sounds pretty interesting. And I've heard people talk about the first game a lot, so I'm definitely curious about it. But I have a pretty large, okay, the fiends are still alive. So this is actually my second time through this part of the dungeon. The first time I had to bail because I got some rough random encounters. But I got exit, which is another, like, huge coup for, like, just making my life a lot easier and not game overing. Oh, 13, damn, what happened? What happened? Yeah, exactly, and that was kind of what my roommate was saying too, is like, you know, they're kind of on a similar level of just like early existence of games grind. Where probably especially the very beginning of the game is just very rough, because you're just sort of like getting through a lot of stuff. Or like you have like a slow ramp up in a lot of ways, usually in these kinds of games, where like you start out and you just like can't do anything. And then over time you sort of like get access to more and more quality of life, and then you sort of like, that helps you feel like you're getting more powerful as the game progresses. Which I found to be really rewarding in this game, like going from, you know, just being scared of everything and having a hard time getting like even just 2 dungeons through the overworld, and now feeling like pretty comfortable. I mean, like this dungeon is actually pretty gnarly, to be fair, but prior to this I was pretty much like kind of on cruise control. And it felt really cool to be like, wow, you know, the world used to be so hard to traverse, and, you know, I used to have so few resources, I didn't have a lot of spell slots. And now I'm like, oh hey, I got a lot of this going on. And yeah, I actually am surprised, especially given all that, and like how strong I was sort of feeling in general, how good of a job they've been doing in this last dungeon of like actually making it feel like more difficult again. And I think in a good way. Like I'm glad I didn't want to just like steamroll through the end of the game. And so it's nice to have like a further challenge to resource management, which I think is really like a lot of what this game is, honestly. And you know, why it can be hard to approach, I think, sometimes. And obviously, like, there's a lot of quality of life stuff as well, but I don't know. It's been a lot of fun. Like, even though I'm getting close to the end, I've really enjoyed it, and I'm glad that I played through it, and I'm glad I played through the original. I played whatchamacallit? Oh, Dawn of Souls. Back when I was playing a lot of games on Game Boy Advance, and it was Dawn of Souls was really good, and like they smoothed out, I think, a lot of the quality of life of the game. But especially now, as like somebody who's, I think, just gotten more interested in sort of like, game design, it's fun to see like where all this started and why things work the way they do, and you know, what makes it satisfying versus what makes it annoying. It's just kind of cool. And I'm really curious to see like how the series develops. Like I'm looking forward a lot to that kind of perspective of having seen them all within like relatively close succession, and getting a feel for it. I think these are like an actual boss at the, or not a boss, but like a defined encounter at the door. It seems so weird to me. There's like, here's this extremely modest random encounter, but I got a random encounter here last time I was going through, so I'm like, not sure if random. We'll see about that. Yeah, the Sky Castle. I guess the Sky Castle had a somewhat clutching conclusion, because the mini boss before like the actual boss of the place, like one-shot both my mages, just really casually. Yeah, exactly. It's interesting to see the things that, like, have stuck through the series for a long time, and the things that have been modernized or have changed a lot. So it's very instructive, but it's also something that, like, I don't think is, like, for everyone. Like, I wouldn't just be like, everyone should go play Final Fantasy 1. I definitely recognize that it's a pretty different experience. That might not be fully in everyone's wheelhouse. Yeah. It's a lot. But yeah, so now I'm basically fighting, I think, powered up versions of the bosses through the game. So, like, this was like the Fiend of Fire, and before that I fought the Fiend of Earth. And so, like, you basically have, like, a little mini boss rush attached to this whole big dungeon. And, like, the dungeon floors themselves are, like, both the enemy composition and the, to some extent the floor like, the way that the floor is laid out tends to, like, sort of throw back to the dungeons where you fought them originally. Which I think is also quite cool. Oh yeah, my fighter just got chunked in the face. I was like, why am I even in the healing menu? And I was like, oh yeah, my fighter just casually took 150 right in the mouth. Oh, I don't remember what the gimmick is here. Actually, don't know if I... Oh yeah, I did get to crack it eventually here. I think I just have to go, like, down to the left or something. Yeah, it's a really cool way to, like, wrap the game up, honestly. And, like, a lot of things like this, like them having a boss rush and other stuff like that, is, like... I guess it's not, like, super modern design. Like, it was a thing that happened a lot in older games, because it's, like, a great way to get more mileage out of content. But it's just kind of like I'm just a big sucker for boss rushes, honestly, so, like, I think that might just be just, like, I really like it, and so I was, like, pleasantly surprised to see it show up in this kind of older game. Because I'm like, man, this is a really cool thing that more games should do. And so when it was like, oh, boss rushes, you say no more. I'm like, oh, right. With a bunch of powered up enemies that all, like, are callbacks to your original dungeons that you went through. It's like, good stuff. Ah, the AoE, it feels good. Feels good on the skin. Terminating. Also, what are you still doing up? It's like, I feel like it's late for me. You wildin' out there. On that Mountain Standard Time. Oh, you're on vacation, right? Oh no, water. Water. Water and water. These things have a really awkward amount of hit points. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm glad you're getting some time off. It's definitely good to reset, especially, like, when so much can bleed together with all the pandemic and stuff going on, so I think it's especially important to make sure you're taking time out, even though, like, at least for me, like, I've had a couple of times where I've had, like, vacations, even though I'm, like, at home during a pandemic, but just, like, consciously trying to disconnect from everything was at least really useful for me, so good on you, get some rest. And, I mean, yeah, you know, being on vacation also means you get to stay up late and watch your friends stream goofy old games, then awesome. Let's see. I don't know how late you're planning on staying up. I also don't know how long it's going to take to get the dub here, but hopefully not too long. I'm through 3 of 4 Fiend floors, so that's gotta be something, right? And then I gotta do the last boss, who I don't know if they get their own special floor or anything. Oh, the one person who can still get poisoned. Speaking of quality of life in Power Fantasy, I've got like a bunch of ribbons on now, and like being immune to status effects, especially in this game where status effects really suck, is such a amazing like flex. Because poison is just really obnoxious to deal with in this game. A lot of the times because it just involves a lot of like awkward menu navigation, which I'll get to show off right after this. It's my, I guess I won't get to show off all of it, but I'll show it off anyway just to give you the full getting poisoned experience. Which is why it's been like a constant me one my whole playthrough. I'm just like dreading getting poisoned, not as much for the damage that happens, but just because of the nuisance that it incurs. So we'll get to go through it. Hopefully only one last time for old time's sake. But I swear that the enemies can detect who doesn't have the ribbon on, and they just laser focus. They're just like, I will poison that person. It's like, please, please give me a break. Anyway, so yeah, if you get poisoned, you gotta go to the menu, obviously, and then cure the poison. You gotta use Pure. There's a spell for this too, which is nice, but I have enough Pures that it's not a big deal, and I want my spell slots. And then normally, if you get poisoned, you get put to the back of the marching order for like no real reason. And so the worst part would be like your fighter gets poisoned and then gets shoved to the back, and if you don't go and fix that, then somebody else is at the front of the party and they take all the hits. Like they have like kind of a like soft aggro table in this game. Yeah. Oh yeah, you were watching earlier when I was in an extremely poison-happy place. Honestly, this entire game is poison-happy, so I say, like, when I was in a poison-happy place, but it's like, you mean basically the entire game. Okay, cool. Thanks for narrowing it down. But yeah, it's the big fucking strugs, for sure. But fortunately now the only person who can get poisoned is my black mage. So if they get bumped down in the order, it's not a big deal. But yeah, not having like cursor memory and stuff for this kind of thing is also a huge beating. And there's no like better version of potions. It's only like these little tiny potions that heal you in increments of like 30. So it's definitely, it's tough. It just takes a lot of time. So the real tax is honestly on your time, it feels like. But it's just the way it is. Yeah, I think last time you came through I was in, what was it? It wasn't the Marsh Cave, but it was like somewhere in that neighborhood, I think. It was the Marsh Cave. I don't know. But yeah. Lots of poison going around all the time. Just being generally obnoxious. They've actually got a pretty good suite of status effects, honestly. They've got like poison, paralyze, sleep, petrification. I think that's it. I guess like you can get silenced too, so like you can get your magic turned off, which I found out recently. Yeah, I feel like this game is like training me to be a speedrunner with my menu jujitsu, just because I've gotten so used to navigating all of these and just like get me out of here. Like let me just get on my way. But I'm also like, I'm kind of like a menu fiend, honestly. So if a game is like, you're gonna have to spend a lot of time organizing stuff in menus, I'm like, alright. This game, obviously, it's just missing a lot of like basics of menus. Like the menu navigation is tough for other reasons, where it's like, oh, you can't like tab between your party members. You know, with like R1, you have to like go back out of the menu and then reselect the party member and like blah blah. So it's kind of a beatdown that way, but generally speaking, I'm pro menu. I'm a dirty menu liker. Yeah, exactly. People are like, you're gonna have to go into a menu, and I'm like, alright, come on. Are there sub-menus? Like, you know, give me the deets. I want to know more. How deep are these layers? This floor is nice though, because the items I have are obviously like both lightning summoning items, so getting to hit weak points on this is quite nice. Magic in this game is honestly a little bit silly. It's cool that they have like weaknesses, but damage, like magic in general, just has like this wildly huge damage range. So sometimes you'll like just swing and miss, and it's like exacerbated when you're like, the time you most want to use magic is usually in AoE, where it's like, oh, there's a bunch of enemies that I don't want to have to, like, hit one at a time to kill. And, oops, not the loot. And that's where you get to see, like, sometimes you just hit for a lot, and then sometimes you don't. So it's big lotto energy. We definitely pulled the slot machine. I can't believe I'm almost up at heals. Good lord. Alright, what's cracking, baby? We gotta use some fasts here. This thing did not die in one turn last time, which was extremely upsetting to me. Oh wait, maybe I just got unlucky on my hits, because that just hit for 1 billion. Holy, speaking of hitting for 1 billion, that is... Oh, what the... 800 damage? Yo, we critting out here? Big crits? Is this the power of Excalibur? That must have been multi-crit, like, I crit on, like, a bunch of my attacks. But yeah, check this out, I forged Excalibur, hell yeah. I found special metal in a space station, because also you go to space in this game, just like, FYI, spoilers for a 30, 40-year-old game. So that was cool. But yeah, that fucking pop-up, Jesus, I'm fucking clipping that later, because that was unreal, that I was like, yo, you're a boss? Get out of my face. Don't ever talk to me again. I better use my fighter heals. That was the big pop-offs. Just absolutely the fighter playing out of his mind. What a machine. I don't think got this far before. I don't remember what I have to do here. Sorcerers. The sorcerers that don't cast magic hardly ever. I used to think that enemies didn't actually have magic, because you encounter wizards really early in the game. Not really early, but like, pretty early in the game. Also, nice ribbons paralysis. But you encounter them fairly early. Maybe I forgot to put it on my red mage. And they're all in on this transplant. Oh, and it's working! I hate to see it. Maybe you just resist it very heavily with ribbon. Wow, legit 4 trances. Alright, when I was like, they don't cast magic, they heard me, and they're just like, you fucking what, mate? We'll show you casting magic. Alright, well, it's the fighter against the world. Get him. Oh yeah, you also haven't seen my new extra JoJo's character portraits, because I got the class change. Look how tall everyone is. We're all grown up. I like that when you change classes, you just get big. And I guess the black mage takes off their hat. It's like, get me out of here. Yeah, they got real legs. They like went from being little like chibi sprites to being like full ass, you know, like upper bodies. The whole 9 yards. Oh, good lord. They're really gonna make me go through a freaking maze down here, huh? Oh my goodness. Let me out. Let me out! Actually, I should probably have the red mage attack. I think these things are like surprisingly fragile. I always get baited by these enemies because I'm like, oh, they're huge. They must be like really tanky and slow. And they're not. They're extremely not. So I like focus fire them. I'm like, I'm gonna have to attack these things like a bunch of different times. And then I just one-shot them and I'm like, oh, okay. Also, it's funny that they call it lost intelligence when what it really means is it's like lowering the number of attacks you make. So, I don't know. Something got lost in translation there. 900 damage. Oh my goodness, we're swinging out here. Yeah, you see these things and you're just like, ah, clearly this is a large lad. This is some sort of tanky fellow. And they're just absolutely made of paper. I mean, I kill a lot of things at this point, but you have to trust me that earlier in the game they were also still very weak. Once upon a time, they were still weak. But yeah, I guess we're just... Oh, okay, we found it. Woo! I was like, I'm gonna be really sad if I just have to blindly wander through this whole joint. Just, I mean, to be fair, extremely on brand for the game. It is par for the course. I think we're getting close, though. Because I know the boss is at the end of this little squiggly hallway, or the last fiend. And then, depending on how big of a floor the last boss gets, that'll be pretty much the ball game. I can't imagine there's gonna be a lot of fanfare in this game. It's just gonna be like, you did it! And then, like, roll credits, there's like, yeah, get out of here. Go start another game. Roll up some new classes. The class system is honestly really sick, though. I feel like it would give this game a bunch of replayability. Like, if I was, you know, if this is like my one game on the NES, like, I could see getting a ton of mileage out of this, just because of, getting to change classes and, like, try different comps out. No, they don't re-aim in this game. And that was, like, half of my first stream was me being like, I don't understand what's going on here. And slowly learning how it worked. But yeah, if you attack something that's dead, they just whiff. And they call it ineffective. And so early on, what was confusing to me was that you can both miss, like you can just have not enough accuracy. And you can do that, which is like the ineffective attack. And I was like, okay, they're making a distinction between these two, so like, there's gotta be something going on. Also, we are just popping up. People are hitting the over 700 on the reg now. What is going on? I mean, I kind of know what's going on, which is just like the black belt scales really well with levels, so... Whoa. Oh, this isn't... Yeah, okay. I thought this was the boss, but it was not. It was treasure. Which, to be fair, I really wanted this treasure, so it's fine. Let me see how strong this thing is. Oh, I can also show off my sweet stream tech. Bam! Check it out, it's the manual, baby. So the Masamune... It's just the Masamune, no big deal. Okay, so it's a pretty big bump. My question is, will it stack on the black belt? I don't think it will, so I feel like I should give it to the black mage. I'll try it on the fighter for now. I just feel like if I already have Excalibur, like the small upgrade to Masamune is like, it's nice, but I wonder if I would get more mileage out of putting it on someone else. Yeah, the TLDR, I was like, how much better is it than other items? And the answer is quite a lot. It's also a bunch of extra hit percent, so I wonder if I'm like secretly missing a bunch of hits, and it would like help smooth some of that out, but not certain. Alright, the Sorcerer Squad is rolling deep. Oh yeah, they also run away. That's they cast magic and they run away. They have a lot of unique traits compared to other enemies. They're out of here. They're just like, I don't like the looks of this. These guys got this deep into the dungeon. They can't be screwing around. Yeah, exactly. Miss me with that fucking Warrior of Light shit. I don't fuck with Warriors of Light. Oh yeah, I didn't equip that before I got this way. Yeah, so I'll try it on the knight, and if he just like pops off with it, I'll keep it on him. What? Well, that's kind of nightmare mode. I think he just took like straight up 200 damage. All right, I lied. This ain't the run. Whoops. Yeah. Oh, and so one other fun fact about this game. I don't remember if I explained this last time either, but like, you can't res people outside of town, or like you can, but it's a colossal pain in the ass. By which I mean you needed to learn a spell, and it's a level 5 spell, and it turns out that the answer to what happens if you already know 3 spells, like the maximum number of a level, can you learn more spells? The answer is no. So I didn't learn Raise back in the day, and now I have all my level 5 spell slots filled on my Red Mage, and it's a beating. So yeah, the black belt is just dead for real. So we probably gotta just portal out and then make another run on this, which is a bit unlucky. But that's kind of the theme of this dungeon, it feels like. Although, to be fair, this isn't as bad. So in the ice cave, they have a whole floor that's like full of things that can insta-kill you. Yeah, this was a sick run. We got Masamune though, so now I can A, skip that leg of the dungeon, and then B, have it for future runs. But yeah, I'll keep pushing a little bit. The black belt does a lot of damage, so I'm a little bit scary to have them down, but I want to learn more of the layout. And the good news is though, I've got exit, which is another new spell, so I can like actually leave this dungeon. Which normally you can't leave this final dungeon because like in the fiction of the game, you're going back in time to like stop this the origin of all the bad things that were happening. And so it's a one-way trip. Except the exit spell doesn't apparently give a shit about time and space, so you just like can peace out whenever you feel like it, which is pretty nice. I gotta say, it's pretty nice. With Black Mage Ties at this point, it's kind of whatever, since this is already a wash. But we shall see. Oh, not downing that worm is a bit defeating. Masamune, I'm disappointed. Why you do this? Okay, there we go. We're doing it. Real things happening. Yeah, thanks for coming through. I was surprised I got 80. I was doing this more for myself. I was like, well, I want to beat the game, and I'll just put up a stream. So, the fact that you rolled through as a surprise guest, always appreciated, man. Take it easy. Have a good night, and enjoy your vacation, dude. Yeah, thanks. I don't know if we'll try again tonight, but probably on Wednesday we'll make the real push. Oh, there's the boss. Alright. Maybe there's hope. I don't know. Let's see. I'll give it a shot. Can't hurt. Can't hurt to ask. I do have Masamune on my side. Ow, that hurts a lot. Oh my goodness. This is a little nerve-wracking. Yeah, this is where not having the black belt for sort of backup DPS is getting extra dicey. I might have also been extremely greedy on that gear too. I was not expecting Tiamat to go that hard. I just win? Yeah! Alright. Can we beat Chaos like this? I don't know. Oh, with only one tier 3 in the bank, I do not think we can. But, I mean, we got this deep, which is something. I'm gonna save state real quick in case I get ambushed, because I would like to be able to exit and come back with resources, but I do want to at least see how far I've got to go to get to Chaos. No. Maybe not very far? I gotta imagine it's in this big dramatic central room, right? I mean, do we just make a run at it? I feel like I'm just gonna get absolutely splattered. But I wanna try. Cause what if we win? What if we win with the black belt on the floor? How fun would that be? Oh, I do need to put a... Oh, yeah, we gotta do quite a few strats here. We need to do some equipment juggling.
I guess I might as well just top everybody. I don't want to die by a tiny margin. These heals will be pretty marginally useful in battle. So yeah, weapons, we gotta equip Excalibur, hand over Masamune, pick that up, and then armor. Oops, that's an armor. Okay, I think this is about as good as it's gonna get. I'm not sure if the lost accuracy from Masamune is gonna be a beating for the old fighter, but we can give it a shot here. Yeah, the Tiamat push was it was a little bit greedy, but we got there. Ugh. Oh shit, it's Garland. Yeah, the long con. I was moonwalking. They sent him to the past, and he sent them to the future. This is some real... It's a time loop, I mean, yeah. He's got it done. Yo, this pixel art. What is going on? Actually, set up some defensive magics. That's not a lot of damage. That's a worryingly small amount of damage, in fact. Ooh, that's a worryingly large amount of damage. Okay, so this is the absorb one, fog. So I need to do invis next. Ineffective. Womp womp. So next is fog 2. Or invis 2, rather. I need that. And now I guess I just start like throwing the biggest spells I have out there. Let's see what sticks. Easy to dodge. It's a very good translation. Ooh, this is gonna be slow going out here. Oh wait, okay. Maybe we're back in the game. Yeah, I don't have any healing, so it's basically just all offense here. There's no holding back. We just have a couple turns, and then we see what happens, yeah. This might be a real squeaker. I mean, my damage is finally stepping up. I guess I just had a really crummy opening turn. I think that's meant to be like an AoE insta-kill. But we got pro rigs for that. I think we're some kind of amateurs. Just punching people in the face. Alright, he's like, alright, you can dodge instant death. Dodge this fist. Catch these hands. Ooh. Ooh. I'm a little bummed there's not special boss music for the last boss. We did it! Alright. We had to sacrifice the black mage and the black belt. Ooh, what the fuck is this? Is there another boss? I'm gonna be really bummed if there is. I mean, I'll be excited actually, because it'll mean I get to make another run on it. Oh no, he's just dying extremely dramatically. That's pretty sick. He's just like pixelating away. Very good. Alright, well, shoutouts to the bravery run. No black belt, no problem. Knight is all you need, baby. Knight Red Mage holding down the red squad. Out here in force. That was pretty good, though. Oh, the battle music cuts out? Ooh! Epilogues? Epilogues? The time loop is now broken. Oh, Zato's scrolling. Shit.
chaos. But it is over now. That's good. Wrong has been set right. Very cool. The Light Warriors are returning. I'm not sure what they mean. Like, I guess returning to the present? Sarah and Jane, wait for them. When did it ever happen? That's a very good question. Everything went bad in a day. Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. 4 Light Warriors for Fiends. Oh, so this is like a Ocarina of Time situation. The Warriors of Light came from out of time and then returned out of time? Interesting. So yeah, and then they live as like a collective memory. That's really cool, honestly. Okay, so they're from 2,000 years ago. Interesting. Aww, the memories stored in their hearts. We do get a nice credit song. So I was saying I was bummed that there wasn't a special final boss song, but we do get a nice outro. Never turn the 4 powers to the dark side. This feels like less applicable advice. Always be brave and true seems like things that most people can do. Yeah, and the truth living on the hearts of people, sure. And then it's like, but also don't go to the dark side. Like, I don't think that's a big problem for a lot of people, honestly. Truly a light warrior. It was me! Whoa! Plot twist. It's me all along. May the orbs always shine. Gotta put some shine in your orbs. Yeah, so for the first long set of games, like the crystals and the orbs are like a big theme of Final Fantasy. So that's like the first, I guess, like big recurring motif. Well, what is this? Oh, the end? Oh, what a sick ending. I can't imagine what a pain in the ass this was to program on the fucking Famicom once upon a time. With the animating fill-in? Oh my goodness. We are truly, they're like just sparing no expense here. It's like, yo, check this out. The end. Hold this at the end. I thought it was going to say Final Fantasy. I was wrong. I'll admit it. It's filling in a really weird way, though. Which, again, speaking of, like, how much of a pain in the ass it must have been to program, this, like, programming this side have been a huge pain, too. The special manual fill. Oh shit, you were there all along. It was your spirit bomb, man. You helped me clutch it out against chaos. Alright, I don't know what happens. Do I just push a button and... It might just soft lock. I think a lot of old games just soft lock at the end. They're just like, you did it, turn off the fucking system, bro. Yeah, I was like, I'll try fighting chaos. I kind of peeked at his stats when I was looking at some walkthroughs, and I was like, that doesn't seem that bad. And then I did like no damage to him in the first couple turns. I was like, okay, I'm scared. But we got there. I think the Masamune on the red mage was the real tech, honestly, because then he could actually like output damage later in the fight instead of just being dead weight. So I was like, all right, this is good. But yeah, man, this game was really fun. I'm looking forward to starting Final Fantasy 2 on Wednesday a lot. And thanks for sticking it out. I'm glad you got the itch. You had to know how it ended. I did too. I was like, I want to push through. So it's been good, but I'm gonna call it. Thanks for sticking it through the bitter end. I'm glad somebody got to witness the triumphant ending. But yeah, it's good stuff. Anyway, I'll catch you later.